Persian Empire began with Achaemenid 550 to 330 BCE, Parthian 247 BCE to 224 CE, and the Sassanid 224 to 651 CE. The Persian Empire started in Iran, and the founder was Cyrus, and then Darius came to power once he died. Cyrus believed that he might be overthrown by his own satrapies, and decided to make spies in order to protect himself. Afterwards, Xerxes came into power and fought against the Ionians, and lost. Then Alexander the Great came to power, and then Seleucus. Seleucus created the Seleucid Empire, but it crumbled soon after, and then the Parthian Empire was created, but wars still raged on. A postal system and a currency was developed. The Connaught system developed a system to transport water stored underground to be used above. Zoroastrianism was followed, and the main god was Ahura Mazda. Three philosophies were established in classical China. This included legalism, Taoism, and Confucianism. Legalism is the belief that humans are naturally evil, and therefore harsh punishment is necessary. Taoism believes that the balance between aspects of nature, like hot and cold, is important, and Confucianism believes in the harmonious relationships and that the foundation of life is family. The Qin dynasty was from 221 BCE to 206 BCE. The Qin dynasty had a centralized government, and legalism was followed. During this time, philosophical, ethnic, and history books were burned. Additionally, the Qin dynasty created a standard law, currency, and Chinese script to allow for better communication within China as a whole. The Han dynasty was from 206 BCE to 20 BCE. This dynasty was founded by Li Bang and created a non-hereditary bureaucracy. The idea of the Mandate of Heaven was approved and acknowledged during this time. The Mandate of Heaven explained the concept that the emperor is a prophecy brought on by God himself. Road systems were built to improve communication and trade. The Silk Road was prominent in classical China. China invented paper, calligraphy, and acupuncture. The beginning started with the Minoans on the island of Crete, the Mycenaeans, who were known to trade with the Minoans and were in constant conflict with the Phoenicians, who were in the eastern Mediterranean. Within Greek politics, a polis was a city-state within Greece, with many rivals, especially Athens and Sparta. Athens was known to have slaves. Almost 30% of the population were slaves. Women and slaves both had no political rights. Athens made a council of 500, which in summary is a lottery for free male citizens that held land. Sparta had helots, slaves, which were 10-to-1 ratio of the population. Women here were free and equal to men due to their importance at home when the males fought in the military. The Persian War started with the invasion of Ionia, with the Battle of Marathon and the Battle of Thermopylae. Athens led the way in defeating the Persians with the Delian League, and once they won, Athens demanded to become a glorified city-state and to be given tributes. It was called a revolt within the allies that created the Peloponnesian War. The Roman army was split into legions and cohorts in order to maintain military peace, and to try to lessen the probability to start a revolt. Women in classical Rome were to obey first their father, then their husband, and the oldest son. The Americas began with the Andean Moche from 200 BCE to 700 CE. The civilization believed in the temple of the sun and moon and idol worship. They had irrigation, corn, beans, llamas, and human sacrifice. The Andean Moche had the Moche system, which was when a community was based on communal work. Next came the Mesoamerica, which was from 150 BCE to 650 CE. They spoke the Nahuatl language and also believed in the pyramids of the sun and moon, which was related to the Avenue of the Dead. Lastly came the Mayans from 1500 BCE to 900 CE. They used slash-and-burn agriculture and terracing to grow corn, beans, and squash. They were known for having no standing army and their advancements in astronomy. However, the reason for the decline is unknown. The Maurya dynasty was the start of classical India. It was founded by Chandragupta Maurya. Their centralized empire was North India, and the Maurya dynasty also had books on how to control land and what is expected from it, Kautilya and the Arthashastra. The emperor during this time was Ashoka, who converted to Buddhism and fought during the Battle of Kalinga. Also, stupas, or pillars with Buddhism quotes, were prominent around his house. The Gupta Empire was between 320 to 550 BCE and was founded by Chandragupta. The empire was known to have tributary states, but not as much as the Maurya. They had the concept of zero, a decimal system based on 10, Kama Sutra, and they believed that the world was round.
Created using Powtoon.